My name's Stephen Dickey. I'm the head animal keeper here at Tropical World. I've been the head animal keeper for almost 3 years. The Tropical World itself, obviously being an indoor tropical rainforest visitor attraction with a large collection of different tropical species. We generally have different days for different feeds for the animals, so it'll sort of fluctuate between be it a vegetable feed or a fruit feed. We generally have at least one keeper that will be going around taking temperatures and humidities with the different animal enclosures and just making sure that the animals are sort of accounted for. Yes, so the food prep that's been done just now, we've got ring-tailed, I think we've got meerkats, ring-tailed lemurs, 10 recs, you've got mouse lemurs, the bats. Basically have to feed in a fairly natural manner. So they'll have to fly and hover in front of the skewers, land on them, obviously feed and then fly off of them. So it makes sure that their wing muscles are nice and strong. So at the moment, there's 63 fruit bats in the colony. We will be due to have more youngsters born later in the year. So we try and sort of maintain the colony at no more than 100 individuals at any one time. But the thing with the fruit bats is they go through a large volume of fruit and veg each day. Ideally, they should be eating almost their own body weight in fruit and veg. Now, lots of people think that bats are blind, but the Egyptian fruit bats that we've got have got pretty good eyesight. They've got a really good sense of smell, good sense of hearing, and they're one of the few fruit bats that uses echolocation. These are the skewers that we use for feeding the bats. So generally, normally I get either 5 or 6 pieces of fruit and veg on each of the skewers. Within Tropical World, obviously we have quite a varied collection of animals. Some of my own animals are in the collection, this being one of them. I've always been interested in sort of reptiles, amphibians, invertebrates as well, but to be honest, most animals actually sort of interest me, so be it birds, mammals, a bit of everything. So having a general interest across the whole animal spectrum is sort of better than just having a specialist thing. My adult female red-tailed boa, who's still up in Scotland, gave birth to 23 youngsters, and this is one of them. Still pretty young snake, it's only a couple of years old. Now, boas are generally sort of found in South America. This one here would be in South America. So it doesn't poison its prey. What it does is it grabs a hold of a warm-blooded animal, be it a mouse or a rat or a bird. It would then wrap around it and squeeze it, suffocating it, and then swallow it down head first, one big lump. Doesn't chew its food. Now, she does have teeth inside her mouth. There's about 100 teeth altogether. And when you look at her, you'll see her tongue flicking in and out as well. Now, the main sort of purpose for her flicking her tongue out is to taste the air, getting an idea of what's around her. She does have a forked tongue, so it goes into 2 bits at the end, and it allows her to taste in direction as well. So it gives her a good indication as to what potential prey items are going to be around her. Now, lots of people don't think that snakes have bones, but they do have a full skeleton. So she does have a skull where her head is. She has got a backbone. You feel it when you run your finger down her back, and there's hundreds of ribs going along her body. Yeah, I'm just about to feed the anaconda and the red-tailed boas. What we feed them are basically rodents, but we buy the rodents in frozen. We then have to defrost them in warm water to make sure that there's no ice crystals inside them, and they're the right body temperature for the snakes to recognise them as food. The sort of collection that we've got at the moment, from a member of the public point of view, the likes of the meerkats tend to be one of the most popular animals in the collection. Personally, I prefer a lot of the smaller things that are in the collection, but I do have a general interest in the whole collection in its sort of entirety anyway. This is our terrapin pool here in Tropical World. So at the moment we have some red-eared terrapins, there are mud turtles in there as well, and yellow-bellied sliders. Now normally it would just be the red-eared terrapins that are in here. We have moved some of our mud turtles in from the butterfly house while we were doing some work in there, but the yellow-bellied sliders have all appeared over the last year or so. We get asked pretty regularly if we can rehome terrapins and turtles from members of the public, and due to space more than anything else, we're not really able to accommodate any additional individuals, but every now and again we do find new arrivals that have obviously been brought in by their previous owners and plonked into the pond without us knowing. Now, the main concern for us at that point is we need to really look at taking any new individuals out and making sure they don't have any pests or diseases that could potentially spread to the other terrapins and turtles in the ponds. But obviously it's going to be an ongoing issue. Pretty much constantly in touch with other zoos all around the UK and seeing what animals they have available, what's surplus, and also sort of looking at our collection and seeing what animals we have surplus so we can move them on to other zoos as well. We've just released a Victorian crowned pigeon that's come from Dublin Zoo. What we tend to do is any new birds that come into the house, we release them sort of pretty much first thing in the morning before the publics come in, just to give them time to basically get their bearings and find areas where they can hide. Morlets crocodiles. They're all approximately sort of 4 to 4.5 years old now. Have to touch a white sort of ball on the end of a stick, and once they've touched the white ball, then we'll offer them a food item. With the sort of role that I have, when I'm constantly sourcing animals from other zoos, it's basically sort of colleagues that are in other zoos that I already have quite sort of close connections with, that I organise the animal movements. So the fact that I'm based in Tropical World sort of obviously helps the general collection to move forward anyway.